Hey guys, welcome to another fun and exciting video of molar mass for chemistry. So molar mass practice sheet number 2, question or problem number 19. So again, we're going to start off by going ahead and naming this compound. Now you should know how to name this compound, but if you remember, we have to go to that first element. That first element that's right there is Pb, and we have to find out what that is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull up our periodic table. Find out what that element actually is. There's our periodic table. And if we look Pb, we see it right here. It's lead. Now, if we don't know whether that is a type 1 or type 2, it's in the area of a type 2. But let's go ahead and figure that out. And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to our page that has our monoatomic, page 14, right here. And if we look in here, we will see we don't see lead right in here. So that means that lead is in the blue, and blue means it is type 2. So when we go ahead and do type 2, we have to go ahead and figure out the Roman numeral. So we can go ahead and write in lead. We know that there's going to be a Roman numeral in there, and then we're going to do NO3. Now NO3, again, when we do this part right here, all we have to do is name it what it is. So we have to find NO3, the ion for NO3. So we're going to go back to our packet. Scroll all the way to the last page, and here's our last page. And we're in, so our last page is our monoatomic or our polyatomic ions. So we're going to find NO3. So NO3, when I go down here, here's the N's. NO3 is right there. We don't have to worry about the charge or anything because we're naming it. So we'll get back out of this. And so NO3 was nitrate, if you saw what that is. So that is going to be nitrate. And we just have to figure out the charge of this. So how do we figure out the charge? Well, the charge of the nitrate, if you remember, was a -1. Okay, now I can go ahead and go back to that and see what that is. Nitrate, right here, -1, or 1 negative. So we'll go back to that. How many of the nitrates do we have? Well, we have 2 nitrates, so my total charge for that is going to be a -2. Okay, so that means my total charge for lead has to be a +2. So if I take that and divide that by the number of leads that we have, which is 1, there's no number there, but we know there has to be at least a 1. So 2 divided by 1 is a +2 up here. Okay, the other way to do that, remember, was if my charge up here equals the subscript down here, which it did, so 1 and 1, that means the subscript for the nitrate becomes the charge for that. So we're going to go ahead and put a nice Roman numeral number 2 in there. So lead 2 is our name for this compound. This is going to help you out with that name. So we're going to figure out the molar mass. And what we're going to do with the molar mass is we're going to put down the elements that we have. So we have lead, Pb, and we have nitrogen, and we have oxygen. Now those are our 3 elements that we have, so lead, nitrogen, and oxygen. And so we're going to say, how many leads do we have in this? Well, in this case, we only have 1, and we're going to multiply it by the atomic weight. Here we have how many nitrogens? It says 1, but I have 1 2 times, so that means I have a 2 there. And our oxygen, we have 3 2 times, so we have 6. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and figure out what is our atomic weight of each one of those. For this. So we'll go back to our packet, scroll back up to our excuse me, our periodic table, and we'll look. Now lead is right here, so lead is 207, nitrogen is 14, and oxygen is 16. So 207, 14, and 16. So let's go back to this. So we know that this is 207, nitrogen is 14, and oxygen is 16. And now we're just going to tally those up this way. And so 1 times 207 is 207. 2 times 14, you should all know that that should be 28. And then 16 times 6, okay, that's going to be the tough one. So let's go ahead and pull out the calculator. So once we pull up the calculator, we can put those numbers in there. So we're going to put 6 times 16, and that's going to equal 96. So we can put 96 in there. 96. Well, pull back the calculator, and we're going to add those together. So 207 plus 28 plus 96 equals 331. So we're going to do this again. Okay, so we're going to clear that. So 207 plus 28 plus 96 equals 231. Okay, again, double checking is really important. So we're going to put down our molar mass, and that is going to equal the total of this right here, which is 331. And what is that? That's grams of lead-2 nitrate. So we're going to go ahead and copy this right here, and we're going to put that down. Now again, we always have to have the weight and label it. So when we do molar mass, it's grams of what? So we have to put down grams. That's what it is. Remember, we're changing whatever the weight is to grams. That gives us a mole of that. Okay, so then we go ahead and highlight our answer. And there we go. There's our answer for question number 9 of practice number 2. So the molar mass of lead-2 nitrate is 331 grams. Hey, as always, go Mohawks. Nelson out.